Dearest friends, here are my soft gooey meatballs simmered in sauce. Watch the video. Meanwhile, I'll have a taste. The first thing to do is to prepare the tomato sauce, a fresh and very light sauce. So let's pour a drizzle of oil into the saucepan, add a crushed clove of garlic and some basil stems. Let the oil become fragrant and the garlic turn slightly golden. Once the oil is fragrant, I add the rustic tomato puree. I'm using a thicker, more rustic puree. I add a bit of water. Here we go. I season with salt. I cover it and I let it cook as long as needed. While the sauce is cooking, let's prepare the meatball mixture. I'd like to spend a minute of your time on how to prepare the mixture. Why? Because on other occasions the recipe has been a bit criticized in the comments. Maybe because I add too much bread or because I add too many eggs. But as we know, meatballs vary from region to region, from town to town, even from family to family, and even between sisters. So this is my version, the one I've always made and that my grandmother taught me. I've been criticized because maybe I don't use garlic the way it's done in Naples. Or, I don't know, there's a town nearby in the province of Caserta, close to mine, it's called Parete, where they even put sugar in the meatballs. But that doesn't mean they're any less tasty. Maybe it's a matter of taste. I don't put it in, just like I don't use garlic, so let's do it this way. Maybe you'll write your recipe in the comments, the one from your family. And I would also be very happy maybe to try it out. Why not? But in the meantime, I suggest you try my version and then let me know if you liked it or not. So, let's go step by step and prepare the mixture for my meatballs. Let's put the meat in a bowl. I add some bread soaked in water and squeezed out. Here it is. The bread was stale, of course. So I start adding the bread. Then I'll decide the amount as I go, okay? I start mixing. In the past, people used to do it by eye, right? Meatballs were made by eye. There wasn't an exact measurement, right? Because in the old days, there wasn't much meat, so there was only a little meat. In fact, meatballs were created as a way to use leftovers. So having stale bread, a bit of meat available, some cheese, you know, things like that. And so they made delicious meatballs with these few and simple ingredients. Very good. Now I'm adding the eggs. You kind of eyeball the eggs too. So we test the softness with our hands, right? I'll start by adding one egg. But with this amount, one egg isn't enough, so we'll add two. So now and even three. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Pecorino cheese. Parmesan. Parsley. And I start kneading everything together, obviously with my hands. The softness of the meatballs comes exactly from the presence of bread and eggs. There's not much to say. And here we go. Our meatball mixture is ready. This is the consistency we need to get. See, here it is. Half an hour has passed. And our sauce is ready. And now let's prepare our meatballs. So let's take a small portion of the mixture. Obviously, you decide the size, whether smaller or larger. But for my version of the recipe, I want to make the meatballs a bit not too big, you know, and not too small either. And little bites like this. Cute, right? Here we go. I've heated the oil to 180 degrees, and now we're going to fry the meatballs. After 4 minutes of cooking, we turn them over and let them cook on the other side. The meatballs are ready, and we drain them. Paper towels. Let's get back to the sauce. We add some fresh basil, fragrant. A little. And at this point, we lay our meatballs in and we submerge them all in the sauce. Now we cover and let them simmer slowly on low heat. And we let them cook for a few minutes. We turn them gently and with love. Look at this, huh? How wonderful. The meatballs are good and covered in sauce. Look here, huh? How beautiful. But now we'll give them an extra touch. I'll transfer the meatballs into a baking dish. And then I'll cover them with julienned mozzarella. And then they'll be put in the oven with the broiler on. We just need to brown the mozzarella. And enjoy it. But we can also do it another way. That is by leaving them as they are in the pot and putting the mozzarella on top. And covering with the lid, letting it sit for another 5 or 6 minutes, just enough time for it to melt. So it's very simple either way. So let's do it like this. I'll use a ladle for this, and let's do it. To finish, a pinch of pepper, and obviously only if you like it. If you don't add it. And now straight under the broiler. And here it is. How delicious. And the meatballs in sauce are ready to be enjoyed. And now, my friends, I'm going to taste them. Look here. How soft my meatball is. Soft. Enjoy your meal. Enjoy your meal. Oh my, how delicious. Dearest friends, what more can I say? I just urge you to make these delicious meatballs, my version, and then let me know how it goes. That said, I send you a hug, and goodbye to everyone from Le Ricette di Zia Franca.